it's fall, and we're going to do another set of tasting notes. Just recently released an episode on light whiskey and its history. It's an audio-only podcast, so if you get an opportunity, go listen to that episode. But it also gives me an opportunity to walk through a few tastings with a few different brands that are out there. So on this particular set of tasting notes, we're going to talk about Penelope's Light Whiskey, and this is their 15-year release that they did. I don't know if that was last year or the year before. I've had this bottle around for a while. And I thought, hey, since we just talked about light whiskey, it'd be a great time to taste through it, right? So 3 different tastings, 3 different days, potentially 3 different sets of glassware, hopefully attempting to trick our palate and nose into not being distracted by what's going on in the environment. So the first time through, the nose on it was a caramel macchiato. The palate was like a caramel candy with Szechuan peppers, and the finish was candy corn. And it is the season for candy corn, obviously, so maybe that's why it kind of came to the front. The second time through, the nose on it gave me like a grilled sweet corn, like the smoke, the butter, the sweetness, all of those things that kind of come into play. The palate on it, there's a strong dryness on the front that comes with some of these older age statements, specifically in higher proof light whiskeys, where you're going to get some tannic bitterness to it. There was some maybe bitter coffee with heavy cream that it was sweetened with agave. Once again, really, really specific notes, but I tend to sweeten my coffee with agave. And I've done this before, and this is what it gave me through and through. And then the finish on it was like cinnamon spice and heat. So like if jerk seasoning were a whiskey, maybe that's where this finishes at, without some of the allspice cloviness that can kind of come into jerk and, kind of really sort of beat you up if it's for a whiskey, so to speak. And then the last time through, the nose on it was like slightly burnt kettle corn. The palate on it was tea bitters and spice. And then the finish on it was the residue of drinking a lightly sweetened French press coffee. French press coffee gets kind of a stronger body to it, a little bit thicker, a little bit frothier, whatnot. And it has a different sort of bitterness, sweetness that kind of comes from the back end of it. And it's also really, really warming. Everything Penelope does, I've been a huge fan of. If you haven't tried a light whiskey before, this is a great place to start if you can find it. You obviously probably can't find it, but there are quite a few people that are putting out different light whiskeys in the marketplace. So keep an eye out for it and give it a shot, because it's going to give you an opportunity to taste some potentially higher proof, but also significantly older age statements, and see what a corn-based whiskey can do at older ages in reused barrels, right? And see a little bit more of the spirit and a little bit less of that brashness that can kind of come out of new oak.